to remind you about this S9. Almost 5 months ago, me and Kai went to Osaka to try this camera. This is a really small full frame camera. So small, so good looking, and then it has brilliant in-body stabilization. Panasonic has the best stabilization in the industry. There's no question about it. Autofocus is great on Panasonic now. Stop saying Panasonic has bad autofocusing. And this small, almost compact camera actually takes 6K open gate. It is full feature like the S5 Mark II. But last time I have quite some reservation about this camera. Kind of difficult to say, but in a way it's kind of easy. Why? Because if you see this camera, oh, it looks so cool and small. Actually, it is a lie, almost. Because this lens, it appears in all the marketing, in photos and video that you got like young, good-looking people shooting vlog or whatever, having fun with this camera. But this lens is actually manual focus lens, and I don't even want to call this zone focusing because there's no zone at all. There's no distance scale, nothing. And this is a f8 only lens. You can't even close aperture. There's no aperture, it's just f8. That's it. And you can only shoot 6K for 10 minutes. 10 minutes. And it will cut off without telling you. 4K, 15 minutes, 1080, only 20 minutes when 10 years ago, over 10 years ago, 5D Mark II can do 29 minutes for Full HD. This 20 minutes. But apparently, finally, they fixed it all because they actually, when they announced the S9, they also announced they will release this 18 to 40 millimeters. So have they fixed everything? Is this lens actually worked well at all? And without a video recording limit, will it overheat at all? So this lens was promised when the announcement of the S9, when we were in Osaka to try out this camera before it announced. Even at that time, we don't have this lens to try. So this lens finally arrived like almost 5 months later. Okay, so this camera I feel like this camera finally complete. At least there's one small lens for it for now, just one. Good that even though it's late, there's some surprises as well because this is not only just small for this camera, but this is actually the smallest full-frame autofocus zoom lens ever. It is an extend lens, extend or retrap lens, depends on how you look at it, because before you use it, you have to extend it, but before you put it away, you can retrap it. So yeah, half glass full or half glass empty. The previous latest and smallest full-frame autofocus zoom lens was the Sony 28 to 60 millimeters. The Sony one, 28 millimeters, and they paired it with ZV-E1 for the kit lens. So ZV-E1 was a vlogging camera. Try vlog with a 28 millimeters. See what happened. I can show you now, like that. That close. I can't really show you much at the back, and then my hands, my arms killing me. And especially with Sony, you have to use digital stabilization, so it even zoom in a little bit more, like that. 28 millimeters. Let me go back to the 20. Although this new lens only zoomed to 40 millimeters, but actually it is really useful. Actually, not until S9 release, I didn't realize that Panasonic don't have a small lens at all. I mean, the last kit lens is the 20 to 60. They released this with the S5, and initially I found this really great. It's light, it's small for camera like this, for DSLR style camera like this. But when you put it in here, I mean, it's not ridiculous, but then it defeats the purpose of a good-looking small camera like this. I mean, I still use this. I shot the Rollei 35AF video with this. Panasonic don't even have small prime lens because this is the smallest prime lens. It fits perfectly for a camera like this, not this. It's still, yeah, it's still, so it makes so much more sense with this, even though it extends, but. So this lens actually is splash proof, freeze proof, and dust proof. So yeah, even though this is a zoom lens, external zoom that extends, I don't know how far it can go, but then it goes further than S9 because the S9 doesn't have any resistance at all. So yeah, the lens is splash proof, but not the camera. Still have to be careful when it's raining. So this 18 to 40 millimeters, of course, is really great for vlogging. I'm shooting at 18 millimeters now, and my hands don't even have to stretch so far away. If I stretch, I can have it so wide. This is like almost too wide. My arm look a bit distorted. I mean, Panasonic do really great kit lens. I don't know why. I mean, almost 5 months late, but still it is a great kit lens. But the maximum aperture is f4.5, not really a large aperture lens. Well, it's a kit lens after all, and it's 4.5 to 6.3 as well. So now it's already using f5, but if I add a anti-filter, so it uses maximum aperture f4.5, so you can see like it still got a little bit of shallow depth of field. I mean, it's still a full frame, but yeah, it won't be as large as the one I've been using, f3.5. So this is what it used to when you watch my video, because I use this 20-60 quite a lot. Now this is f3.5. So of course, this wide-angle lens really useful for like travel when you travel as well. Just like the 20 millimeters I'm using, I can get all the whole building, well, almost the whole building behind me. And of course, this 18 millimeters, I don't even have to walk over there to take the whole building. I mean, ever since smartphone got this wide-angle lens, everybody like using that to take this kind of photo that the building kind of like falling backward. Yeah. Who need to walk really far away to get that shot? I can just get it here. But seriously, it is really good for travel, especially somewhere indoor. So I mentioned the 18 millimeters really great for traveling. What's also really great for traveling is NordVPN, the sponsor of this video. Especially recently, Australia arrested a guy that do Evil Twins Wi-Fi attack. He basically in the airport and on the plane, he create a fake Wi-Fi that's the same name of the Wi-Fi of the airport he departed from. So all the travelers on that same plane, if they have used the airport Wi-Fi, that device would automatically connect to that guy's fake Wi-Fi. But using VPN is one of the best things to protect you from this, because if you're using VPN, you are directly connected to the VPN provider, just like NordVPN, and everything in between is encrypted. Even though if you are connected to a fake Wi-Fi, then it is all safe, and thank you for the free Wi-Fi. Also, when I travel, I want to access my local UK TV network. Not because I watch TV when I travel, it is because before I get on the plane a long haul flight, I want to download movie to watch. But with VPN, I can still access TV apps from UK. If you're interested, it is free to try for 30 days. Use the link in the description below or use this QR code. When you join for 2 years plan, you can actually get 4 months for free. And within 30 days, if you tried it, if you don't like it, you can cancel it and take all your money back. Basically, a free trial. Now back to the lens, bokeh isn't great, I think it's quite busy, but the aperture isn't large, so you won't see bokeh that often anyway. Lens flaring isn't bad, especially here I'm facing direct sunlight. For zoom kit lens, yes, it is variable aperture, and when you zoom in it will darken a bit. Not much of a problem for still photo, but a bit annoying for video. And don't forget a high burst zoom if you're shooting 4K. This is now 62mm. This is a sensor that can give you 6K. So if you're shooting 4K, it got a little room to digital zoom in without losing any quality. This actually combines your physical movement of the lens to add in the digital stabilization, digital zoom. So I think this is really clever. You simply just zoom on your lens, it simply become 18 to 62 if you are shooting 4K. I mean, yeah, you do get the same result if you shoot 6K, just like me. I usually shoot 6K and then just zoom in later in editing software. But if you are shooting 4K anyway, then just use that to make use of the extra resolution. And if you shoot 1080, it can become 18 to 120, yeah. Another really important is the new firmware for the S9. Usually firmware is a boring thing, but this unlocks the video recording time limit. When you turn it off, it shows you some formality, tell you about how it might get so hot and burn your fingers. And this is what I have been waiting for. With this card shooting 6K, it can shoot for 1 hour and 20 minutes. Now the only limiting factor is how big is your card, your battery life, and before it overheated. On this day, very pleasant room temperature 23 degrees shooting 6K. But really for camera this small, I don't expect it can shoot for 6K for a very long time. But I was actually surprised for it can shoot for 1.5 hours 6K continuously. But you can see the battery life isn't that hot. But last time in Osaka, temperature 24 degrees, cloudy, there was once it gave me a high temperature warning, but it didn't actually overheat yet. So of course, I have to try this again with the new firmware in my high-tech temperature control chamber. The camera was preheated for 10 minutes before I started to test to properly simulate that it was being used in that hot climate. In this test, there was no wind. The fan was off. Finally, it shot 6K for continuously 27 minutes. I think it's similar to my experience using it back in Osaka. I was shooting 6K for a couple of days under around 25 degrees Celsius, which it never overheat, only once that it gave me a high temperature warning. And now it's also up to date as other S5 Mark II and S5 Mark II X with subject detection on cars, motorcycle, train, airplane, and you can see the front of the car or the car in general, I guess. And then something new, you can now have more than one frame line on the screen now, and you can even customize the frame line. It doesn't even have to be in the center. So with this improvement, especially without the recording limit, I may use this S9 more. I have already using the S9 whenever I want a smaller, a lighter camera. It's much lighter. It may be not that cheaper than the S5 Mark II, but it is so much smaller and basically have the same feature, 6K, in-body stabilization, and it just looks so good. Great for travel, leisure, and video shooting. Extra content, the 18 to 40 on the S5 Mark II. This is great, although it extends, it's still, yeah. Come on Panasonic, next step, pancake lens.